In this video, I will be talking about email promotions you can't get rid of in any reasonable way. If you would like to go straight to action, check out this timestamp. Everything's there. To everyone else, hi, hey, how's it going? Some companies make it really hard to unsubscribe and they ignore you when you are trying to opt out. In this video, I will tell you about 3 steps that you can take to get rid of those emails. The approach I will talk about works in the UK, European Union, US, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. It also may work in a different country depending on the legislations that you have in place. It's a bit time consuming, but it worked for me every time. You can do it in only 3 steps using one draft that I will provide you in the description. In the UK, I'm relying on the General Data Protection Regulation, or how it's called post-Brexit, UK GDPR. Here are some documents that will help you fight spam in your countries. For the European Union, the document will be EU GDPR. For the US, it's going to be the Controlling the Assault of Non-Solicited Pornography and Marketing, or the CAN-SPAM Act. For Canada, it's CASL, C-A-S-L, or anti-spam legislation. For Australia, the Spam Act. I really like the short name. And for New Zealand, it's going to be the Unsolicited Electronic Messages Act. Each of these regulations prohibits spamming you without your consent in one form or another. They also ask businesses to honor your request to opt out from newsletters. Here's what you can do to get rid of those stubborn email letters. I'll describe it in steps and I'll explain how it works after I give you the template. Step 1, go to the sender's website. In my case, it's going to be Maelstrom, the tool that is supposed to help you with emails, but as it turns out, they're even worse spammers than some of the companies that I know. And what you're going to do next, you're going to go to privacy policy. Usually, privacy policy has to be on the first page that you visit. It's very easy to find. If you're using Chrome, just use Control Find to find privacy policy. For example, you go on the website, any website, any business's website, Control F, and then privacy policy, and you click it. And next thing that you want to do, I'm gonna give you a shortcut. You will look for an @ sign, which is gonna save you lots of time reading through all this information. So this is the email that you need to message. So what we're gonna do, we're just gonna copy it and we're gonna compose a new letter to this address. And I usually call them data erasure request. The name doesn't really matter as long as it's clear that you want to opt out of something. Usually I send data erasure requests. Most of the time I ask to delete all the data that the company has on me, because if they spam me with email letters, it's very unlikely that I'll do business with them in the future. And here's the template. My template works for the UK and it goes like this. Dear Sir/Madam, I would like to exercise my right of erasure under data protection law and delete all my personal data related to the insert your email address, or /n my name, insert your name and surname. You can find guidance on your obligations under information rights legislation on the website of the Information Commissioner's Office. Then you give the link to the document or the body responsible for enforcing the regulations about data protection in your country. And then I say, as well as information on the regulatory powers and the action they can take, very important bit. And then please send a full response within 1 calendar month, confirming if you will comply with my request. For the US, it can be 10 days. And then best regards, insert your name again. This is a very simple template, but it gets the job done, and I will copy the message of the text in the description of the video so you can adjust it and use it. So, how does this work and why does it work? The GDPR states that data subjects, meaning us, users, can withdraw previously given consent wherever you want, and that senders have to honor the decision. That's a very important bit. If they fail to do so and you report it, the UK Information Commissioner's Office may issue a hefty penalty, which then would be paid into a central government fund which belongs to the Treasury, which brings us to the next point. If the company fails to comply, you may, if you have spare time, file a complaint. Please be aware that some companies may ask you for more data to delete your data, which is very confusing, but it was the case for me with the mobile operator I'm no longer with. They asked me for a copy of my ID and home address. So if you want to go through this process, have your documents ready at hand, and the whole thing is gonna go just much faster and much smoother. In an unlikely case when the company still fails to honor your request, you can file a complaint. I will link the websites for English-speaking countries where you can find more information on protecting your data. But if you choose to file a complaint, don't delete any emails. You may need them as proof that company sent you unsolicited emails. And alternatively, if you don't feel like fighting the world, you can just mark the letter as spam, and it's gonna do two things for you. So firstly, you're not gonna receive emails from this particular address in the future. And secondly, this is gonna decrease the internal rating for the emailing services, meaning that they are more likely to flag messages of this company as spam in the future. This approach only works for promotional emails. If you would like to fight spam, it's very tricky. And in fact, most of the spammers nowadays use a single-use email address to message you, and then they dispose it and create a new one. If a disposable email messages you, just mark it as spam. But it's quite unlikely because most of the modern mail services are doing a pretty good job in filtering those messages. If you would like to tame all your emails and organize your inbox, I have a 20-minute video about Inbox Zero approach where I provide the tools how to get there. I talk about filters, labels, and shortcuts that you can use in Gmail. And you don't have to watch the whole video. It's split into parts so you can just scroll and see whatever works for you best. And yeah, thank you so much for staying here. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye now.